The Signposts of Providence. Signposts of Providence. Connie, when Mrs. West gets here, please send her in, would you?
Mr. Carter? Alice?
My God. Hannah, what are you doing here?
I was about to ask you the same thing. I'm Henry's mother. We had a meeting scheduled.
You're Mrs. West?
It appears that I'm here at 2 o'clock.
Well, apparently you are. Please have a seat.
Your last name, I should have recognized it earlier and put it together.
Why, for Pete's sake? Carter's a common enough name, and I wasn't teaching when you knew me. Plus, I'm 100 miles from Medford. There's no way you could have suspected I'd land here. So, what's your story? What brings you to Providence?
You wouldn't believe it if I told you.
Try me.
I stuck a pin on a map. Basically, that's it. 1,000,000 towns to choose from.
Of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, you walk into mine.
Casablanca. How appropriate.
You really did that with the pin in the map.
I had to move somewhere. This is just as good as any place.
And your husband was all right with it?
Mr. West is no longer in our company. I'm sure he doesn't give two spits where we are. It's probably more information than I needed to share.
I don't mind listening.
Yeah, but I'm not so sure that I like talking with you this way, so candidly. Maybe this isn't such a good idea.
Well, wait, what about our appointment?
I can't do this.
I'm still Henry's teacher, Hannah. Whatever happened between you and me, I'm still that. And as far as I'm concerned, there are still issues that needed to be addressed.
Issues?
Pertaining to his behavior. Now, please, sit down. Please.
Fine. I'll sit. For Henry's sake.
Thank you. Now, let me start by saying that your Henry is a very bright boy.
But
his social skills are, how should I put this?
Weak, deficient, non-existent.
Yes, all of the above.
He doesn't play well with others. Never has.
That doesn't alarm you?
It's frustrating at times, granted. Am I alarmed by it? What can I say? He's my son. I love him.
Sure you love him, but...
There are no buts, Ellis. That's how it is. Everybody's different, right? You're different. I'm different. It's what makes this world an interesting place to live in.
I guess what I'm trying to say is a person needs a certain amount of social skills to navigate this world. Being different is simply not enough.
He can tie his shoes, and he's fully capable of buying a loaf of bread at the store.
But can he make friends? Get along with his boss? See, there's more to life than bread and shoes, Hannah.
He has to be able to make choices. Is that what you mean?
Yes, that is precisely what I mean.
Good choices. Sometimes difficult choices.
Exactly.
Like knowing when to leave a woman and when to stay. What? No sage advice?
You're referring to me.
I'm referring to us.
What was done is done.
That's it? That's your answer? What was done is done? What does that even mean?
It means that what we had was a long time ago.
Let's talk about what we had.
Why? Why are we even going there?
Why? Because a part of me is still back there in Medford, in that time and place, looking at the clock and finally the calendar, wondering where the hell you ran off to. Is that so hard to understand? All this time, stuffing these feelings back inside. I swear to God, I told myself, if I ever ran into you again, I'd make you tell me. So tell me, why did you leave? I have to know.
It's complicated.
Walking away was complicated? Or never returning? Maybe that was the complicated part.
Look, you have every right to be angry.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad to have your approval.
But I was a little angry myself.
You? Angry? What could you possibly have been angry about?
You really don't know?
I'm serious, Alice. I don't have a clue.
Well, then, let me refresh your memory. Does the name Carlos ring a bell?
Carlos? No. The only Carlos I know is... Oh, hold on.
Aha! So you do know who I'm talking about. It's all coming back to you, isn't it?
Well, this has something to do with the retreats?
Retreats. An interesting choice of words. Rendezvous may be more fitting, or tryst.
Wait a minute. Are you suggesting... Oh, you stupid man.
Not so stupid that I didn't see through your plans.
My plans? What exactly were my plans?
Like you don't remember.
Humor me. My memory's a little foggy on this point.
You betrayed me, Hannah. You ran away for the weekend with your Latin lover.
Carlos.
That's right, Carlos.
Father Carlos. If you're going to drag his name through the mud, at least have the courtesy to use the name the church gave him.
You were having an affair with a priest? Are you crazy?
I would be if it were true. I was at the retreat that weekend, Alice. I don't know where you got the idea that I wasn't. And yes, Father Carlos was leading it. A spiritual retreat. Not a secret rendezvous.
No. That can't be. I mean, if that's true...
It is true.
Then I made one of the biggest mistakes of my life.
You'll get no argument here.
You came back from your weekend away and you looked so happy. I mean, my God, you were absolutely glowing. And then later that evening, I heard you on the phone. I heard the name Carlos, and then something about a wonderful weekend. I put two and two together
And came up with 16. Math never was your best subject.
All these years, my God, what I thought of you. And now you're telling me that I read it all wrong? This changes everything. There was something, wasn't there, about the retreat? Something happened. I wasn't imagining that.
You weren't imagining it. No.
Can you give me a hint as to what it was?
Look, you were right before. What was done is done.
Hannah, please.
I'm really not happy talking about this.
But I'm asking you just the same. What was it about that weekend that put a glow on your face? Hannah.
I had made an important decision. That's why I look so happy.
And you needed that spiritual setting to make it?
It didn't hurt.
So tell me, what was it, this decision you made?
2 decisions. There were 2. The first one was that I decided I wanted to marry you. That one turned out extremely well.
And the second?
The second one, that was more difficult. I was determined to have your baby.
Another swing and a miss. So much for the best laid plans, huh?
Oh, you swung all right. And I definitely missed my monthly. For 9 months, to be precise.
What are you saying? You mean you and me?
That's generally how it happens.
You were pregnant.
Only just. And against all odds, I decided to keep it.
Why didn't you tell me?
You didn't stick around long enough for me to tell you.
God, you're right. I am stupid. It certainly was then. So what was it? A boy? A girl? What?
Do you really need me to answer that?
You don't think I deserve to know?
For God's sake, Ellis.
I have every right.
It's Henry, all right? Henry is your son.
Henry.
Henry?
Good God.
Can't you see the resemblance now? The chin? The eyes?
Henry. Sitting right there in my class this whole time. And me without a clue. Does he know? I mean about me?
No,
Will you tell him?
when the time is right.
Yes, that's probably best.
Are we through here? I really should be going.
Hannah, wait, listen. I loved you once, and I know you love me too. And I can't tell you how sorry I am for the way the mess I made. Sorry I didn't come to you when I had my suspicions. Regretful now that I walked away. I don't know how that would have changed things if I had stayed, or what might have been. But it breaks my heart that I wrecked our chances to find out.
Thank you. I really needed to hear that.
And now, as far as Henry is concerned, don't pull him out of school. I know what you're thinking, how awkward this is. You're probably tempted to move on.
It has crossed my mind.
Please don't. I know I can't give him back these past 16 years. I realize that. But it doesn't mean I still can't make a difference in his life. As his teacher, if nothing else.
Well, you do have one thing in your favor.
Oh? What's that?
He likes you.
He said that. Really?
He talks about you all the time. Says you're a good listener.
Imagine that. Me, a good listener.
Maybe some things do change.
So is that a yes? You'll think about staying?
Yes. Who knows? Would you settle for a strong maybe?
I'll take whatever I can get, Hannah. Whatever I can get.